I am honestly surprised nobody's done this video before, but I will list down all the cases, their pros and cons, and if I would invest in them, yes or no. To give you a little backstory, I own around 30,000 cases myself, but I bought most of them when they were 5 cents. I'll apply my logic that I used back then to see which case I would buy at this current price range. Let's start with the first case, shall we? The Revolution case. This one is a big no. The main reason for that is that it's the newest case and it will be dropped in the active drop pool for probably the upcoming 1 or 2 years. If you don't know what the active drop pool is, I'll try and keep it simple. But it's basically a term used for if a case is being dropped a lot or not. You have a much higher chance to get this specific case dropped, for example. The case itself is amazing. In my opinion, one of the best if you look at the reds and the gloves you can unbox, but for investing it's not that great. The Recoil Case. This is also a no from me, since it is an active dropping case and it's still pretty new. The potential of it going up a lot is not that great since it's sharing the gloves with the Snakebite Case, which is a lot cheaper. The price of this case has been climbing slowly, but it has all the reasons to dip down again if less people start unboxing this. So I would kinda avoid this case. The Dreams and Nightmare Case. This is actually a really good case, but for investing it's still a really big risk. The main reason is yet again that it's an actively dropping case. You can't really predict if this case goes lower or not, but if the prices were lower I would have definitely bought some of these. The main risk is that if Valve decides to put another case in the game that has these knives, you're kinda going to be in trouble. But if Valve doesn't and this case goes rare, then you're sitting on a solid investment. So it's kinda 50-50, it's a gamble you're willing to take. The Operation Riptide Case. If you look at the items itself, the reds are awful, but it's a rare case so that's a good sign. You won't see them dropped anymore, so there's all the potential to go up. The knives are shared with the Dreams and Nightmare Case, so as long as the Dreams and Nightmare Case stays low in price, you won't see a drastic increase since it will mainly be driven by investors. Most case and boxes will go on the other case instead, but when the Dreams and Nightmare Case goes rare, this case has a lot of potential to go up as well. But yet again, you're probably better off getting the Dreams and Nightmare Case instead for a higher return of investment. The Snakebite Case. It's among one of the cheaper cases, so you can bulk buy this one easier, but the price is the main factor for this one. The reds are not too bad, but your main goal is just that this case becomes rare. I would suspect it can easily climb towards €1 each once it do go rare, because it does share gloves with the Recoil and broken Fang case, and those cases are much more expensive. The Fracture Case. Yet again it's an actively dropping case, but the price is quite steep. The reds are pretty good and the knives are being shared with the Shattered Web case. That case is currently above €3. So as long as this one is being dropped, it will probably float around this price and maybe climb a little bit since it's a really popular case. But once it does go rare, it has a decent potential to go up in my opinion. The Pisma 1 and 2 Case. This is an interesting one. I feel like these cases are pretty decent, they're also rare so over time they have a pretty high chance to go up. The unboxing demand is to my surprise pretty good and it's mostly about the talents Sapphire and Ruby, so if they keep rising people also try to unbox these cases more, which is always a good thing of course. So overall this is one of the cases I would probably look at since it's also the only case we can get these knives from, so that's also a really good thing. The CS20 Case. This is one of these cases that used to be hated on and that was mainly because of the knife, so you could say that the unboxing demand wasn't too great. It's also the only case with these knives in it, so it's kind of a shot in the dark with this one. What I mean by that is that this case has a history of being manipulated, and of course time still eats away on the supply, but it'll take a lot of time. If the demand of the knife goes up, then you're ballin', but since the whole market is climbing, I wouldn't be surprised if this case gets another hype buy somehow. On top of that, it's a rare case, the op is amazing, and the people seem to really like that one, so if the price of that thing goes up, then the case will also climb with it. So, in general, this case is average at best. It's rare, so you can't really go wrong with it, but there are better options. The Shattered Web Case. I recorded this video on the 10th and I said the following. I'm honestly surprised this case is only €3. It's probably because of the Fracture Case, but the op is the best op for a green loadout, and you can get blue gem knives from this case as well. The numbers on the market is around 4,000 right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if this case go up quite a bit in the future. But as long as the Fracture Case is actively dropping, it's kinda holding back the price of the Shattered Web Case itself. So if Fracture goes rare, I expect this case to jump up when they come closer to each other price-wise. The price in the meantime went up with 50 cents, and the supply halved. In general, I would probably buy the Fracture Case if you want to bet on that it goes rare. But overall, it's a pretty good case. The Danger Zone and Horizon Case. The reason I'm putting these together is because they share knives and the reds are not too bad but also not the greatest. What makes these cases special is of course you can only get certain blue gem knives and vanilla talon knife finishes for example. The talon knife also kinda won over a lot of people as of late since the ceramic is just getting too expensive, so I can see this case go up for that specific reason. And of course these two cases are rare, so that's another really big plus. The Clutch Case. A lot of people said not to buy this one, but I think rather the opposite. The main reason for that is that the Revolution case being so hyper unboxed that the demand for the clutch case also goes up since it's a cheaper option. Yes, the reds are ass, but everybody's going after the gloves. So in the end, if the Revolution case stays really high the whole time, for example above 2 or 3 euros, I wouldn't be surprised if the clutch case comes above 2 euros as well at some point. So yes, I would kinda recommend this one. The Spectrum 1 and 2 case. These two bad boys have one of the most expensive knives in the game. Of course I'm talking about the Butterfly Doppler gems. Ruby and Sapphire knives just keep going up when CS2 is around the corner, so I wouldn't be surprised if the cases would be going up as well. The Spectrum 2 is a little bit cheaper, so it would be a better option, but that should even out over time. So yes, I would also recommend these two cases. And of course the price went up with 70 cents when I was recording this video, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah, there's still a lot of room to grow in my opinion. The Operation Hydra case. To save you a lot of time, I would just stay away from this one. The main reason for that is that the return of investment would be so small, since it's better to just buy a case that's 1 euro that will double to 2 euro instead of buying a 20 euro case that in the hopes that it gets to 40 euros. So yeah, you can better buy some cheaper options. The glove case. To follow up from the Hydra case, you're better off buying 4 glove cases instead of 1 Hydra since they share the same gloves. It's a solid case since it barely has any reason to go down besides maybe an operation or Valve adding another case with these gloves in them. It's quite steep in price, I know, but you can get one of the most high tier gloves out of this case, so it kinda makes sense that they're floating around 5 euros at the moment. The Gamma 1 and 2 case. In my opinion, these cases are really solid. Probably better than the glove case if you look at potential of return of investment. It has the emerald knives and it's rare, so you can't really go wrong with these. The fun thing that really stood out to me compared to the Spectrum cases is that these two Gamma cases were exactly the same price when I was recording this video. Which means that the unboxing demand is spread out quite evenly, which is a really good thing. The Chroma 1, 2 and 3 case. Yes, Valve can count to 3. The knives in this case are amazing, so that should already be a reason to look into this. You can get the OG Doppler knives and CS2 is around the corner, so those knives got a big boost in popularity. The graph also shows that with these cases. The case supply is also kinda drying up, since there's roughly around 15,000 on the market right now, which is crazy to me, since I remember there were a couple of million of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them were stored away, but I can still see a bright future for this case as long as the Doppler knives are being popular. The Operation Wildfire case. It's a rare case, so that's a good thing, but the knife barely gets any attention. It's mainly due to the fuel injector AK, which is a big factor to why this case is currently above 2 euros. I personally wouldn't invest into this one. It's going to be a very long waiting game and there are many better options out there. The Ohnepixel case. This German guy raised the popularity of this case so much that it's currently sitting around 165, and that's totally deserved. This case is the cheapest case to get the OG knife finishes from, which has one of the most expensive knives in the game right now, which is the Ceramic Case Hardened Blue Gem. If you're crazy enough to think you can unbox one of these, the other cheaper options are the Vanguard and the Phoenix case, and you're already looking at 230 and 3 euros at the moment of recording this video. So, personally I think this case still has plenty of room to grow as long as the other cases are more expensive. If you're watching this video and the Revolver price is still below the others, you can still consider this as a decent investment. Basically all the cases with the same knives go hand in hand with each other. As long as the other ones are more expensive, the cheaper ones will grow towards it. The Shadow Case. The reds are better than the knives, and that should probably say enough. The demand for this case is just not there, and I would kinda stay away from it for that reason. Or the Shadow deckers need to get an insane demand increase, which is quite unlikely, but yeah, other than that, I would just not touch this case at all. The Falchion Case. Very mid case, the reds are alright, but nothing too fancy. And here we have a knife again that has not much demand. I would also stay away from this one. The Vanguard case. I would personally look at this case when the Revolver case comes closer in price. This case definitely has potential since the knives are great, but as of right now the Revolver case is stealing the spotlight. Esports 2014 Summer Case. Same story as the Vanguard, it's just not worth it. The Revolver is mainly just a cheaper option and yeah, that's why people go for that one instead. The main reason why I'm constantly mentioning cheaper cases is because you want people to keep unboxing your case because then the price goes up over time. If you invest into the more expensive ones, those will take much more time to go up since people rather pick the cheaper option instead. Operation Breakout Case. A case filled with butterfly knives. That's another reason for people to keep unboxing this one. The price is quite steep, but it has its reasons. This is a butterfly fade that's currently around $3,300, and that's in cash value. So as long as the butterfly knives keep climbing in price, this case will slowly go with it. So yeah, it's a decent case and the demand is there, but the price is kind of what throws me off if I had to buy them right now. I would personally go for cheaper options, but if you have the patience, this case is definitely something you want to look at. The Huntsman case. This case has been expensive for as long as I can remember, but all of a sudden it's 10 euros. The supply is pretty low for for the case, but the demand isn't high for the Huntsman knife itself, so it would mainly be for the Falcon. So as long as the price of the Falcon goes up, the case will slowly climb with it. Operation Phoenix Case. Yet again, the Revolver case is stealing away the spotlight, but what makes this case better is the AWP Asimov and the Redline AK. So as long as the Revolver case keeps rising, this case has all the reason to stay above the Revolver price. So if you own a lot of these, you should hope that the Revolver goes up a lot in price, so people start picking the Phoenix case instead. Alright, I'll throw most of the other cases in one pile since they are all expensive, but there's one case you stay away from at all costs. I'm talking about the 2013 Esports case. This case is so bad that nobody wants to unbox it except maybe some YouTubers, and the reason why it's so bad because it has the worst return of any case, and there's only a supply of 52, which also explains why the case is currently 66 euros. The only reason why you can maybe buy this is to have it as a showcase item on your Steam profile. Investing wise is just a no-go for me. The broken Fang case. I somehow forgot this case, so I had to record it on the 16th of April, so I'm sorry for that. This case is discontinued and has one of the most popular M4 skins in it. The only problem with this is that it is sharing the gloves with the Snakebite and the Recoil, so people will go open these instead if they want to get a pair of gloves. The print stream is the main factor for this case, and it being rare makes the M4 go up even more. It's a combination of multiple things, so I wouldn't be surprised if this case goes towards 7 euros at some point. Still, there are cheaper options, but the print stream is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now for all the other cases. The CSGO Weapon Case 1, 2 and 3, Esports Winter and Summer, and the Bravo case is not that great investment wise, mainly because of the price and there are many cheaper options. If you're gonna spend $10 on a case, I would just move towards Stockholm or Antwerp capsules, since they are at the same price. I'll save that for a different video, but here you have all my opinions on all the cases in CSGO. I can probably make another video like this depending if the market does a lot of funny things, but as of right now on April 12th, here are my thoughts about every case. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I want to clarify that I'm not an expert in any way, since this market is just so unpredictable, and if you call yourself an expert in CSGO, then I hope you also got a clown suit in your closet. Thank you for listening to my thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.